Welcome back, everybody, to another one of our MVC4 videos. If you haven't seen the Marvel roster, that was the one we recorded first. Doesn't really matter the order, but go ahead and jump over to that video if you've yet to go onto it because it is called Marvel versus Capcom, not Capcom versus Marvel. Hello. But
Mm.
I'm here, in case you don't know, with Dan Shan, dude. He's back.
Man, Shan, dude, you saw me. It's been a couple of days. We've had time to kind of sit on our thoughts, really stew. So now we're here for the Capcom half of the video, the much harder half to think of, but I think it'll be easier to talk about.
I think so too.
We'll see.
I think
Yeah,
I think because these are video game characters, maybe it's less restrictive than the Marvel roster. To me personally.
yeah,
But
exactly.
also, they could be limited because it's from a video game, Limitations.
Mm.
But I am curious to see where we go with this. But let's jump past the pleasantries. Let's just get on with it, right? So this is our 100% we need these people in the Capcom roster. Again, same applies to the Marvel roster. 12 characters from MVC3 are capable of returning, no more than that, and 25 characters for Capcom total.
So we really only have 25 roster slots for a Marvel character, of which we kind of want no more than 12 returning from UMVC 3. However, there might have to be a bit more. That's all I'll say. We'll see. We'll see. Capcom is certainly very hard to think of new characters simply because games aren't released at the same rate that comic books are written. Like games take a
Precisely.
lot longer to release, and whenever a game is a hit, it becomes a franchise, and you'll get new side characters, but you're kind of usually stuck with the same protagonist the whole way through. So it was just a shallower pool to draw from than kind of Marvel, but I think we still did a pretty good job, and I'm kind of excited to talk about our picks.
I think so. And comparatively, Capcom's history does not stretch as far as Marvel's does, but I think honestly, Capcom has a very rich history of games, and I'd love to jump into it. So, going over our first pick, the tried and true Ryu. I mean, come on, this is what made Capcom Capcom. I mean, it had some wonderful arcade
Exactly.
games, but Street Fighter, like Ryu is the face of Capcom, one of at least. And when you think of fighting games, you think of Ryu. This is what pioneered fighting games, and this is a fighting game, so it only makes sense that Ryu show up.
I mean, I don't even have anything to say. It's Ryu. This is the character. This is the Capcom character. To some people, maybe, Monster Hunter is the Capcom character, Wesker is the Capcom character, Dante is the Capcom character. For me, it's Ryu, it's Street Fighter. It's their flagship title. Of course, it's his game. It's his game as much as it is Wolverine's or Cyclops or anyone else. So we have to have Ryu.
Absolutely. Moving on to our second pick, Dan, would you like to introduce this one?
Well, sure. I mean, okay. So we actually both had these as different characters on our personal list, but I combined them here simply because we already have 21 characters we agree on for this list, and I wasn't sure if we should make it 22 or whether you're okay with Dante and Nero both being the same character
Ooh,
in
see,
either some kind of yeah. I don't know. Here's the thing. Here's my problem. I haven't played any Devil May Cry in my life, so I have no idea if Nero is tremendously different from
oh,
Dante.
he is. He's much
The only
different.
Dante I've ever played is PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale Dante.
You mean DMC
That's
Devil
it.
May Cry Dante? Not the
Yes, I do. I
Dante?
do. And I'm gonna say it. That character was sick as hell in that game. I wouldn't be mad at putting him in here, but I know a lot of Dante fans would be disappointed. But if Nero was so totally different, have him as his own character. We can talk about that. Okay, let's talk about something here. Spoiler alert: we also have Virgil on our list here. How big is DMC as a franchise? Does it merit three characters out of a 25 character
Uh,
roster?
at this point with
We can we can.
Devil May Cry 5. Okay, so I've only played DMC 5. I have dabbled in the other ones that I plan to get around to them, but DMC 5 was my first Devil May Cry. And
Yeah.
realizing how big of a game that is, I think, to Devil May Cry fans
Hmm.
and also character action games, um, I think 3 slots for Devil May Cry is warranted because Dante and Virgil are this yin and yang brotherly rivalry of each other that their moveset is different enough, right? Dante has so much going on, and you can tell in MVC3, like, they had so many options with him. I think Dante could be
Hmm.
the stick around rep. Nero, with his abilities, he doesn't have a demon arm. He's got a
Yeah.
robotic arm, and the whole mechanic of DMC5
Oh.
is you change arms that do different abilities. And his arm also serves as a grapple hook, and his sword is a motorcycle handle, and you can charge it up to do a little rushdown attack where he like slides across the screen and just spins around because of the exhaust of his sword.
Hmm.
I think Nero, we can add this to the argumentation list. So if you mind annotating Nero down for argumentation's sake,
Sure, sure, sure. Yeah.
I think Nero deserves to be on this roster. He is what represents the new generation of Devil May Cry. And I
Well, in that
know,
case, I'm completely down. I'm completely down with that.
yep. But for now, let's Dante. What more can be said? He deserves to be here. He's just got a lot of options, and I think his style is what brings his game out to its maximum potential in terms of design and graphics.
Yeah. And that's really fair. That's a really, really fair kind of thing to say. Great move set, great character. I would really like the kind of old Dante from DMC5, but if people really would prefer a young Dante, I get that too.
I'm cool with
Either
old
way,
Dante.
he
You
deserves to
can
be
skin it up.
perfect. Okay. And then do we want to talk about who's next? Do
Yes,
you?
absolutely. I'll jump into it. So Morgan, Dark Star, excuse me, Darkstalkers as a series has not
Hmm.
gotten much love. I don't know how sales are, but I don't think Darkstalkers really took
Bad.
off.
I'll tell you.
Yeah,
Bad.
it's
Yeah.
it's poor. It's got its cult following though, and I think this is the monster representation with such a dynamic moveset. I mean, at this point, to me, I don't know about you, Dan, but Morgan is
Yeah.
one of the faces of Marvel versus Capcom.
Yes, I agree 100% that in terms of like Capcom characters, she is absolutely like one of like the big three or four. That it's really hard to imagine a game without her. I mean, obviously, people have, but I think Morgan kind of has to be in the game. I know she was broken in UMVC 3. We can fix that. We can just tune her down and change her up a bit. But I think she has to be in the game. And it would be kind of crazy for her not to be, along with, maybe the next character who, apart from Ryu, is the other has to be in the game character. You know, I have Mega Man. I think you do too.
Mega Man, yeah, I can see that because I mean, come on, it's
Yeah.
Mega Man. Now, I'm wondering, I'm
Mm.
curious as to why Mega Man wasn't in UMVC 3, and I'm wondering if it's just because Smash Bros. Although no, this was an Xbox 360 and PS3 game. Mega Man just got no love for a long time, and it was zero. I don't know. Either way, I mean,
Yeah,
most people associate Mega Man with Smash Bros, but this is a Capcom rep, and because they recently announced that they're bringing Mega Man back for the second time, like they're revitalizing the series. I think in a modern lens, it makes sense.
yeah, I 100% agree that this is a character who needs his time back in the game. I mean, he got replaced with Zero. It was a fun experiment. We tried it out. Bring back the classic is what I would say.
I do like Zero though.
I do like Zero, which is really useful because guess who our next character is?
Zero.
Zero. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
So I know probably a lot of people out there are gonna say, "Well, wait, isn't like Zero just like Mega Man?" That's not why.
Well,
Sure,
yeah,
like in terms of like how the character looks, a little bit. But in terms of gameplay, come on, Mega Man. Mega Man is a guy who's going to sit back and like just lob things across screen at you, whereas Zero's got a sword. Zero's getting up there. Zero's doing things in your face, and I think that's
yeah.
fun. I like that about Zero. I think honestly having two
Yeah,
Mega Man reps is perfectly okay.
I agree. I mean, this is a huge, like, iconic franchise. At one point, he was up there with Pac-Man, Mario, Sonic. Like, and we're talking about. Obviously, also Zero just plays so differently in the games. I think you said it perfectly. He has a blade weapon that's different enough already. Mega Man is much more kind of almost Doctor Strange-esque, and that he just has so much different stuff he can throw at you, whereas Zero is just gonna rush you down. And yes, another character who is broken in UMVC 3, we'll tune him. We'll tune him. We'll bring him down to speed, okay?
Honestly, I'm okay with broken. It makes it funny.
Yeah, it's much more fun when everyone's good than when everyone's bad.
Exactly.
Mm.
But moving on to our next 100%, we gotta go with Amaterasu, especially because Okami 2 has been announced within recent years. And also just the uniqueness of Amaterasu's like brushwork style, how Amaterasu's gameplay is. You can even introduce a couple new movesets with this new gameplay.
Yeah. But just such a cool character. Really rare to see in a fighting game. Hitbox and hurtbox this small. Plays in a really fun kind of chaining moves and elements into each other way. Obviously, this is a weirdo character. It's a dog. We're playing as a dog, you know? You don't get to do that in any other kind of game. I think absolutely has to be an MVC4.
I absolutely think so too. Moving on.
Along with the next guy, who is my ride or die. If there is one Capcom character and only one, it has to be my favorite Capcom character. It's got to be Ace Phoenix. Give me Phoenix Wright. Give me Phoenix
Give
Wright.
me Phoenix or give me death.
He's just, the most perfect rendition of a non-fighting game character in a fighting game I've ever seen. They somehow got the exact vibe, the character, the charm, everything. They just did it perfectly. You could really just put in UMVC3 Phoenix with his numbers changed a bit and maybe some of his really bad normals changed a bit. And he would just fit right in. What a fun character. They kind of hit it out of the park.
Absolutely. I can't say anything more.
Hmm.
But our next character that we have to have on the roster here, Leon S. Kennedy. Now, taking a step back here, right? When we did
Yeah.
our thought process, we're thinking about, okay, what would the modern lens be? At the time of UMVC3, it was Resident
Hmm.
Evil 5 releasing. So hence why you got Wesker, why you got Chris Redfield, why you got Jill on the roster. But I think as the remake games have come back, Leon's not that Leon has ever like been out. He's always been in, but I think he's been in more than ever now. I mean, come on. He is as the time at the time of recording this, RE9 just released today, and Leon is in the game. And everyone's freaking out that Leon's back. Leon needs to be here, and I think he could pretty much just take Chris Redfield's moveset, and,
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
and then maybe just swap in a sucker punch for a roundhouse kick. Like that's Leon Kennedy for you, and have him flip his hair and whatnot, like as a win screen condition. I think that would be pretty fun.
Mhm. It's just I don't know. He in terms of Chris Redfield, he was the face of the franchise for a long time. But there's been a weird kind of thing over the last 5 years. And I'm not the world's biggest Resident Evil fan, so
Oh,
maybe
I
I'm not
am.
qualified to talk about it. But as an outsider on the series, really, all I hear about is Leon constantly. You never hear about Chris ever. And I know people used to talk about Chris, and he used to be the main character. All I see are Leon fan cams, Leon edits. Oh my God, Leon's in this one. And perhaps something that has to do with the RE2 remake, the RE4 remake. But I also think Leon is just a much more interesting character from a glance than Chris Redfield. He's so distinctive with the hair, with the ridiculous backflips. I'm a big Leon fan. I think he is perfectly poised to take Chris's place.
Absolutely. Well, and also too with his like how the character develops, like starts out as a rookie cop, so you can have that RPD costume, goes on to be Secret Service agent in RE4,
Yeah,
so a little grittier, more grim, have a leather jacket, and then of course you can have RE9 looking Leon as another alternate skin. I mean, again, I haven't played the game yet. I bought the pre-release, and I never buy pre-releases, but I am excited to play
yeah.
Leon, and I think with the current landscape of how Resident Evil fans view the franchise, new and old, Leon's in, and I think he deserves to be here.
I agree. I agree. And our next character is our first side character. Well, I guess Zero as well, and Nero as well. Zero and Nero, and also Chun-Li. Chun-Li is a weird character to talk about for a second. If I can just say, my one big gripe with Chun-Li is that she's not even really one of the big faces of Street Fighter anymore, like she really used to be during the days of Third Strike. Instead, she's kind of, I feel like Ken, and to a lesser extent, um, Luke have kind of taken her place as like a big face for an outsider from Street Fighter. But in terms of Marvel versus Capcom, it's got to be Chun-Li. In terms of iconic supers, it's got to be Chun-Li. I think she's just sick. In terms of how she fights with pretty much legs only, it's so unique, so interesting. I'm really for her. And also, I'm not upset if Street Fighter gets like 3 reps, or even maybe we go crazy 4 reps. This is Street Fighter we're talking about. It's the biggest fighting game franchise in the world, and it's the biggest Capcom fighting game franchise. But you tell me, Jack, what do you think? What do you think?
As somebody who's not into Street Fighter, I see Luke
Yeah,
is like the new face of the games, like new blood. I get it; it's cool, I guess, but I think Chun Li is still just one of the most visually striking characters, and also too, like historically speaking, for video game franchises, I mean, I could be misquoting here, but to me, I think she is the first true female video game character that actually like had
yeah,
staying power with everybody in the world.
yeah.
And
And I
also
think
too,
that's really, yeah. Go on.
those old Street Fighter games, like Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 3, like my dad, he grew up on Street Fighter, and like
Yeah,
every time I boot it up because he doesn't really play video games except for what he grew up on, he's going straight to Chun-Li every time. And
yeah,
I think there's a
exactly.
lot of people like that. And also she's very
It's
nimble.
why Yeah, she just has a really cool movement option. She's a really famous super, really cool neutral, really cool footsies. A footsies character doesn't really play well in a Marvel vs. Capcom game. We know this, but she can do it. I'm for Chun-Li. I
Same
really am.
here. And I think the fact that she like flips around the whole screen and even bounces off the walls, I think I think that kind of makes up for some of the more pokish nature of Chun Li.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you want to talk about the next person?
Yes. So I will jump into the next person, Hagar. So on our Marvel roster, we have a lot of Hulkish figures, including the Hulk. Again, no pun intended. But
Yeah.
there's no better way to describe him. But Hagar, he is Capcom's Hulkish figure to me, and I think having Final Fight in here as this oh, what do you call it? Like side-scrolling beat 'em up, I think he is a good face of that. I love him. I think he's goofy. Pulls out a giant lead pipe and he just whacks you in the face with it and does sumo, like just wrestler moves. I think it's fun to have a body built wrestler archetype in here to match the more like jump up, leap up in the air and smash boulders in your face kind of characters.
Yeah. And he just, it's so ridiculous that this guy just, hits you over the head with a lead pipe. Of course he should be in the game, you know? He's a like kind of a big heavy, not necessarily a grappler, although he does have grabs. Just he's a lariat. Like I will say this: if Hagar's in the game, and I really want him to be in the game, I don't think we need Zangief. I think Hagar is kind of the perfect Zangief replacement. But I think he's sick. A character who just gets on you and just pressure, pressure, pressure. He's very cool. I'm all for Hagar.
As am I. As am I. And so let's see here. Our next 100% pick, gotta go with Strider. Let's be honest, we need this ninja character in here. I mean, he's got a literal sword.
Yes.
Connecting, at least in UMVC3, connecting moves with him is so good. Like just striking somebody and then
Yes.
flying
Yes.
across a screen, bouncing off the back wall, and then like flying forward again in a belly flop sequence. I think Strider's fun.
Mhm. I agree 100%. Strider, iconic character. So cool with the orbs, with the big pat. I'm very for Strider. He just has a bunch of dumb campy ninja moves he can do. Of course there should be a ninja character in the game. And I think he's the one for it.
Absolutely. But I think that's it
But
for
then
our
our next
100%,
one.
right?
No, 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 because the thing
Oh, you're
is, Jack,
right.
we actually had an insane amount of 100% confirms. 21 out of our 25 slots were characters we both agreed should be in the game. Because as we said, there's really a smaller pool in terms of Marvel. And we both agreed, or in terms of Capcom, and we both agreed that Virgil should be in the game.
Oh my gosh,
Although
I
you
forgot I went to
said
the right.
there's Virgil. I had Virgil or V simply because I know that V is really, really cool. I didn't play. I didn't play Devil May Cry 5, but I know he's a puppet character. I know he makes a lot of constructs. I know he does a lot of weird stuff in a way that Virgil doesn't. And my only problem with Virgil is that again, all the Capcom characters were fucking broken in UMVC 3. He was fucking broken in UMVC 3, and his gameplay style was really boring. Of just pop your transformation, pop your install, pop blades, teleport on them, and then just dash through. It was a cool, cool the first time you see it, boring everything else. I would kind of prefer V,
Mm,
but I'm okay with Virgil being in it too. I'm really not upset at all
do
because I
you,
know V is Virgil, so I don't. Yeah, yeah,
oh, okay. I
yeah.
was gonna
Go ahead.
say, do you want the spoiler? Like,
That's why I have him. I had Virgil slash V because I understand that V is only half of Virgil, whereas Virgil is all of Virgil. So it makes more sense to have the whole character.
yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
But I don't know.
I'm cool with that.
But
I'm
yeah,
cool with
okay.
that.
You. What do you think? What do you think?
I think honestly, if you have them work together, we could just completely change how Virgil works because I mean Dante and Virgil they are opposites of each other. I think we lean
Mhm.
more into Virgil. However, I think maybe instead of activating, well, part of me wants to activate Devil Trigger with Virgil, but maybe
Mm.
Devil Trigger is just an ult stance. Maybe rather than Devil Trigger, you turn into V for a bit and you do more poking or like maybe more stand stuff. I don't know. There's so many options you could do with this. I'm not sure how to unpack it, but I'm cool like at least leaving them as the same character just to have the options open and also to give DMC5 love.
Exactly, exactly. But to be honest, now that I'm talking about it, it should be Virgil. I
It's
was,
got to
I
be
was a long
Virgil.
shot with V, but it is just gotta be
V
Virgil.
V's
Okay.
V's just kind of this emo kid who sits in the corner reading his book.
Okay.
That's how he
I'm
is
fine
in
with Virgil.
DMC5. I do not like playing V in DMC5.
That's fair. That's influence. Yeah, you would hate to play as him. Well, people also hate to play as puppet characters in general in fighting games. So we do have to think about that. Whereas everyone loves to play as Virgil because you feel like you're really, really good. You do
Exactly.
feel like you're doing a lot.
I think the
Mm.
Yamoto is really. a fun sword. I think if he did more like I know he teleports around the screen, but like if he did more like rift tear mechanics, I think that'd be pretty fun.
Mm,
Like maybe have that be his teleport ability rather. Like he kind of plants one in one place and then he can teleport to the portal and like set up a couple. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't
that
know
would be cool. That
Virgil's
would be
whole
cool.
move set, but it would be cool.
Virgil will, yeah, I'm very for him. We would just, no, maybe we don't tune him down. Maybe we leave VC3 Virgil the way he was. We just port him one for one.
I mean, hey,
But the
look,
next character, no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
in DMC 5 Special Edition, when you play as Virgil, I'm pretty sure you get like some of Dante's abilities. Like Virgil's got his own toolkit besides just the Yamoto.
Mm,
So introduce some of those in. Maybe spice them up like Dante a bit.
yeah. I would be really interested in that. I think it would be pretty sick. And I
Exactly.
would, of course, be interested in kind of, doing something with the V side of him too, with the devil trigger. As long as they don't have that one song. I don't want that damn song in this game,
What Devil
no matter
Trigger?
what. No, 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 no. You know
Bury
the
the
one.
Light.
You know the one. No, yes, actually, Bury the Light. I hate that song, bro. I hate that song. Whatever. Whatever. You want to introduce our next character, who's kind of the polar opposite popularity-wise of Virgil, both by gameplay and by people who don't play this game. If you're playing as Firebrand, no one's gonna know what the fuck you're doing if they don't play Marvel vs. Capcom. But for some reason, we both have him in this list. I know my reasons, but well, what are yours, Jack? What are yours?
My reasons is one villain. Of course, I like getting both heroes and villains in it, and
Hmm.
typically Capcom heroes have more of a presence than Capcom villains do. But Firebrand, I mean, like he's a. I don't know what his status is in Ghosts and Goblins. I haven't played it,
Hmm.
but I think just having a red devil that flies around, just like screeching fireballs at you, is just pretty funny. I think it's entertaining. I think
Yeah.
it's kind of like Storm in a way, where you're flying around the screen, just kind of hovering above and just like throwing fireballs down on people. I think that's just fun.
Mm. I think he's such a weird character, He's from a Ghosts and Goblins spin-off. That's already weird in itself. No one's played Ghosts and Goblins. No one's gonna play the spin-off of Ghosts
It
and
was a
Goblins.
spinoff.
It was just he's not even from the main game.
Oh my
He's from the
gosh!
spin-off
And
where
here
he
I
plays a
thought,
red
here
gargoyle.
I was that thought that he was in the main game.
But it's ridiculous that he was ever in Marvel vs. Capcom. He's almost like Sentinel, where I think this is a character where the fighting game has done more for him than his main series in terms of popularity.
I love
He's
it.
just interesting. You're not gonna play as anyone else who is so dedicated to like flying around and just lobbing shit at you.
I'm
He
gonna
has weird combos. I'm cool with him. I'm really
same
interested.
here, and I'm gonna be honest. When I thought like when I was looking at the Capcom roster, and I thought, oh, Ghosts and
Yeah,
Goblins, I thought of Firebrand before Arthur.
yeah.
At least that's what it is to
Oh,
me.
but it is. You did. He wasn't in your 100% picks, which is a little crazy. I thought, and you'll see later. But also, I respect it. I respect having Firebrand first. But
All
do you want to
right.
move on to my next 100%, which I only changed my mind today because I finally realized who published Killer 7. I didn't know. I didn't know before today, and now I know. So
So
it's a game I haven't played, but I really want to see him. So you talk about him, Jack. Garcian Smith.
yes, so Killer 7 is this weird game that I'm sure it's more cult following territory more than anything. But when I was thinking about
Hmm.
MVC4, and I was thinking like, okay, for Capcom, right? Who is a
Hmm.
super like out of left field? Very few people know about him, but would be really cool to see. And I'm gonna make a huge argument here for him. Garcian Smith from Killer 7. This is so. If you don't know how Killer 7 works, you're you swap between different killers as if you're like split personality, but like your body type changes. Like so, you could be like one moment Dan Smith, like wielding a revolver and just doing quippy one-liners and looking cool as a guy in a suit. But then you like switch to Cade Smith, and then you can switch to Kevin Smith. But these are all personas where in the game, if you die as one of these characters, who is meant to be your combat character, you will switch back to Garcian, who is a hitman. But he's kind of like the main persona of all of the Killer 7. And he is super weak in terms of gameplay and Killer
Yeah.
7, where his whole thing is you have to go and retrieve the personality that died out in the battlefield, and you have to grab them as Garcian and then bring them back into your persona list. I think Garcian being this, like, in my mind, for Killer 7 representation, having Garcian be the main body, but as you do the moveset, like there's like say like the white fuzz on the CRT TV, like when you're switching channels or like there's no signal, have it do that because that's how the Killer 7 switches. Have like a different persona comes out for each moveset, right? Like so say like you pop like a high jab, say Dan Smith is gonna come out, then you're gonna pop more of like I don't know, like a close like Uzi style move. Then you have I think his name is Cade Smith or Coyote Smith. I can't
Yeah.
remember which one.
Okay.
I think it's Cade. Comes out and like just does Uzis and sprays around for a second. I think having like a little like mix up switcheroo happen with Garcian would be really awesome.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, everything I talk about with this character is just things I've heard about. But just listen to how passionate this guy is talking about him. I would love to see him in the game. Really weirdo game, weirdo pick. I think he should be in.
I think it'd be funny. And this is like Capcom history here. This was one of the. I know RE4 was part of the Capcom 5, aka actually four
Mm,
games because one got canceled. But like Killer 7 to me has staying power. As like, you know,
yeah,
if we're talking about like not Resident Evil, of course, Killer 7 and Suda 51 is. I love Suda 51 so much. But it's just a weirdo pick. I'm gonna leave it at that. It's a weirdo pick, and I like it.
yeah. Well, another, well, not weirdo pick, but certainly something a little off skew of what is traditional in Marvel vs. Capcom. This guy slash girl slash anyone was in Marvel Infinite. It's Monster Hunter, and it's kind of a strange pick in one sense. On the other sense, it's the most obvious pick in the world because Monster Hunter is currently the most successful Capcom franchise there is in terms of sales, money made. It's Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter World made so much money. It's crazy,
It's
you know?
nuts. I mean, I've
Um,
never played a Monster Hunter game, but I knew a guy that was so obsessed that I think what was
Yeah,
it
I played
KFC or
the
something had a
Build DS
promotion.
one. Yeah. PSP definitely did.
Yeah, and he was like, guys, I know we're on a road trip right now, but we need to stop by KFC so I can get the Monster Hunter cup. He was that obsessed. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be
It's
cool, like
crazy.
big monster wielding or big sword or weapon wielding monster hunter.
Yeah. Oh, for the 3DS, I remember I would just play as like the Lance guy over and over, and it was so cool, so cool. But it's in the game traditionally, you play with a bunch of different weapons. In Marvel Infinite, they really leaned into the sword fighting style. Whenever usually the game is about trying anything from like 80, 90 different weapons. There are so many different styles. So it's hard to kind of narrow it down to just one thing like we have to here. Are you okay with just going in the same vein as Marvel Infinite did, where they just made a very consistent, good, well-balanced, fun to use sword fighter character?
I'm cool with that. And honestly speaking, you could have him like switch him or her switch weapons, kind of like how like Byleth has it, or like have the moveset mix up. I don't know how it was done in Infinite, but seeing as I don't think Infinite really did well, why not just save time and bring this character back and let's see for
Yeah, I
another
agree.
like
I
another
agree.
audience.
Hmm. And I don't know. I do dislike the idea of a creator character being in the game, because Monster Hunter, unlike everyone else on this list, has no personality at all. I mean, how much personality does Firebrand have? That's debatable. Monster Hunter is a creative character, and but I think they're just so relevant. They have to be in the game.
Right.
So I'm cool with it. But
Same here.
moving on, this is a bit of a weirdo pick. Maybe not weirdo, but you had on your list, I won't spoil it, you had another Resident Evil villain slash this person. And I split it up. So I have the other person you mentioned is on the next slide. But here is someone you and I agree on, which is Jack Baker, or really any member of the Baker family slash all of the Baker family from RE6 Biohazard. Or
RE7.
RE7? RE7
RE6
Biohazard.
the
Thank you.
one that people don't like too much.
People hate, yeah, people hate RE6 from what I hear. Well, you tell me, Jack, what do you think of having Baker in here over maybe a more traditional Resident Evil villain? He's a one game guy, isn't he?
Yeah, so he is a one game guy, but here's the thing for me, right? If we're talking about what kicked off the whole modern Resident Evil, especially with its and DMC5's engine 2, Resident Evil 7 was a huge stepping point for Capcom in terms of moving into the modern era. RE5 was great, RE6 not so much, and Capcom was realizing that Resident Evil was growing stagnant to the point where it could possibly die. And so they literally made a whole new game engine just for Resident Evil 7. This is a huge turning point for not only the Resident Evil franchise, but how like Capcom produces their games because DMC5 used that
Yeah.
same engine. That's how their graphics look these days, and it is gorgeous and spectacular. Jack Baker is the face of Resident Evil 7 in my books, just because it brought it back to its horror roots. But he is just so zany and over the top and just wacko nuts that he's fun. I mean, the man literally
Yeah.
has chainsaws, scissors in one of his boss battles. Now, in terms of diverse move kits, I don't know, but he's kind of like I could imagine him being a little Frank Westy, in terms of like
Yeah.
just he has things, and also he's got some mutated forms as well. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I want him on here.
Mm.
Working him into a move set is kind of tough. And so
Yes.
Dan
Okay.
mentioning the slash earlier, I'll just get out of the way. I thought perhaps maybe Lady Dimitrescu as an alternate, which granted she's
Yes.
also sort of limited, but she, to me, Lady Dimitrescu, and I'll elaborate more on it. I don't want the RE5 guys back, just because like
Hmm.
Wesker's cool. I love Wesker, but he
No
just
Nemi. You're not in the Nemi train. Yeah.
not
Yeah.
a Nemi train. I think Nemesis is kind of out at this point
Okay. Okay.
in terms of like because Nemesis was the face of the original Resident Evil trilogy from like the PS1
Yeah.
days, and I don't think we're there anymore. I think we've moved on.
Mm.
I frankly think we moved on, especially since RE3 remake happened. And granted, that was kind of a botched project, just because it didn't
Yeah.
produce the way RE fans wanted it. But even then, like
Yes.
I don't hear people talking about Nemesis in the way like I mean, okay, we know why Lady Dimitrescu was really talked about, let's be honest. But I think the whole new direction that Capcom has been going with the latest trilogy of Resident Evil, I think either Jack Baker or Dimitrescu need to be in.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Dimitrescu
I
is
would
like
I
Nemesis
come down on
sized.
the side of Jack Baker, to be honest, just because I think that aesthetic is much cooler. And I don't know how many moves Lady D has in her game. I'll be quite honest, I never played it. But I
I'll
do know Jack Baker comes back quite a many times and has different moves every time. Whereas I don't know if Lady D, what she does beyond just kind of grabbing. I assume biting at some point, but apart from that, I don't know.
I'll argue for her later.
Okay, okay. Well, we can go on to someone we both agree with. Kind of crazy. He wasn't in UMBC 3, but it would be Asura of Asura's Wrath, you know? But what do
Absolutely.
you think? I mean, God of War ripoff, yes, but also such a cool character, so over the top. What do you think, Jack?
So part of my retro game collection, I had Asura's Wrath at one point. I think I got rid of it just because like I don't foresee it was like it's a good one and done game in my opinion. I don't ever see this game getting a
Mm.
sequel, but in terms of diversity, I think Asura's just this over the top rage character that can just build up a rage meter. You can do that, like, because that's integral to the game. Like, he'll charge up. He's got a couple like Dragon Ball like key moves or whatever. I don't watch Dragon Ball, but like kind of how they throw fireballs at each
Mm.
other. He's got that.
No, yeah,
He can
exactly.
grow
That's
multiple
exactly
arms
it. Yeah.
and just do like rushdown moves. Like
Mm.
I think it would just be a mechanically fun rage meter rushdown character for the Capcom
Me
roster.
too. I think there's so many interesting things you could do. 100%. So many cool things you could do. I mean, he's just that over the top goofy, I can just do anything kind of a character.
Exactly.
And at one point he like stops someone who's 8 times the size of a planet with one punch. There's so much cartoonish theatricalized things. I'm very for Sora. Obviously, that's kind of a fighting game character
And his
almost in his main game.
level 3. I mean, like it happens several times in Asura's Wrath where he'll have like 6 arms, I think, and he'll like
Yeah.
use all of them, and then somehow they'll all get broken because they're like robotic in some way. I
Yeah.
don't know how it works in that world, but then like the final blow he'll dish to somebody with no arms is already leaping across the battlefield and headbutting them to death.
It's really, he would be so cool. He would be so cool. So much movement, so many different arm things you could do. And talking of characters with a lot of options, our next guy, here's something strange, okay? The last good Dead Rising game came out probably about 6 years ago, longer, like 8 years ago. Dead Rising has not been a relevant franchise in a hot minute. The remake of Dead Rising was garbage. But I think we both think that Frank West should be in this game. Why is that, Because in my head, Frank West is just a gimmick character done right, He's just goofy. He's ridiculous. He's almost at that Sentinel level where if he goes into another MVC game, MVC kind of carries him to relevancy in a way that his own falling off franchise can't. Because I do love Frank West. And clearly you do too, but tell me what you think.
I don't have the deepest attachment to Frank West, but I think
Yeah.
mechanically and also as a Capcom representation, he is this fun, just I don't even know how to describe this game. Hack and slash third person 3D hack and slasher where you just beat up zombies and just grab whatever weapons you can. I think that's just kind of funny, especially because you can just have him again throw the plunger, get the shopping cart with the chainsaw in it, and just charge down screen. I think it's just a fun mix-up character who just chucks things around,
Yeah. And
being
I
a
would
mid ranger.
absolutely be 100% for him coming back just based off of how cool he is in the fighting game versus Frank West, whom I really don't have that much attachment to. But yeah, as a fighting game character, I'm for him. And we only have two more that we both agreed on. But wow, what a roster we have already. I got Spencer. This is my, bionic arm. Need I say more? What a cool character. He plays so well. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jack. I don't know who the fuck Spencer is. I don't know what game he's from.
Bionic Commando.
Bionic, of course, bionic arm. He's perfect. He has to be in the game just based off of how he plays, the grapple, the pull in, the push away, the swing. It's Spencer. I
It's
mean, it's the most
Spencer.
iconic super in the game. What is more iconic? Either Virgil install or Spencer Bionic Arm. I think it's Bionic Arm. I love this character.
I think so too. It's just so striking too, especially because he's more of a like. I mean, I've never played the games, but just a super spy, super soldier, special ops guy. I think it's fun to have those archetypes in there next to the goofy characters. We've got quite a lot of goofy characters, but I think it's kind of nice to get a more gritty character outside of just the Resident Evil guys.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But yeah,
I
Spencer,
agree.
I need him in, especially for to like just grapple across screen and then just do a couple combo hits. It's like he makes the poke come to
Just
you.
yeah. Exactly. He's just like how Cyclops kind of chases you down with beams. He just chases you down with with his arm. And also great assist potential, great everything potential. I'm very for Spencer. But the
Absolutely.
next character, I'll let you take the lead because you know what? I say that yes, we should have this guy. Here's someone I also know absolutely zero about. I just think that we should have him. What do you think of Dino Crisis, the guy from Dino Crisis?
Oh, okay. So specifically, we're talking about Regina here, and
Oh, Rigid, the girl from Dino
yeah,
Crisis, of
because well,
course.
she's the main protagonist of Dino Crisis One, and so Dino Crisis. I mean, it's basically was it Shinji Mikami, creator of the first Resident Evil? I think that's him. Don't quote me. I'm bad with names, but the guy who
Yeah.
made the first Resident Evil went on to make Dino Crisis, and whereas Resident Evil, he designed with what made him scary, or what made him scared to him personally most. He designed Resident
Hmm.
Evil like that. He said, okay, Dino Crisis is gonna be panic horror. And how the game kind of works,
Yeah.
it's kind of dumb because he'll be like, "Oh, you're a dinosaur's got a hold of you. Start mashing the X button because you're panicking." but Regina, I think would be fun, and although maybe it would be a little redundant of say like Leon Kennedy with the moveset, I think just having that Dino Crisis representation, and maybe this would be such a dumb way to implement it, but rather than like I'm thinking in my head, Jill Valentine's moveset in MVC2, she's throwing zombie dogs, ravens, and zombies at you. Have her do that,
Yeah.
but with dinosaurs.
That would be pretty cool. That
It
would
would be
actually be
pretty
very, very,
cool.
very cool.
And then she can have like some guns and just do some of that stuff. But mostly
Yeah.
like some of her specials just have dinosaurs just like stomp on the screen. I think
I
that'd be
don't know.
funny.
I think just yeah, in terms of weirdo characters, this is the weirdo I'd really like to see. I just literally looked up clips from Dino Crisis games and just skipped through them and just thought, oh my God, yes, I'd like this to be in the new Marvel Capcom.
I would love just like from
Mhm.
overhead a T Rex mouth just like reaches down and tries to chomp you.
Exactly. There's so much creative stuff you could do. I'm all for it. And I just think that in a like in terms of Marvel versus Capcom, where we've always had a lot of the same characters on the Capcom side, like there's always been much bigger changes on the Marvel side than ever in the Capcom side. I'm really for shaking it up like this with a character like this.
I think so
But
too.
those are 100%. And let me count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 characters, Jack. We only have 4 slots left
Oh
for
boy,
our next
how many
slot.
legacy characters do we have real quick?
Oh, we're way over the rule.
We got
Ryu, Dante,
Dante.
Morgan, Zero, Amaterasu, Phoenix Wright, Chun-Li, Hagar, Strider, Virgil, Firebrand. Oh, Frank West. We're at exactly 12. Oh, Spencer, we're at 13. We're at 13.
We got to get rid of somebody.
You want to cut one?
We
Okay.
gotta cut one. We gotta stick to our rules.
Well, my rule would be I would kind of motion to cut Frank West, to be honest. Frank West or Firebrand are the two that my mind goes
What?
to
Wait. What
immediately.
about between Mega Man and Zero?
Mega Man's not a legacy character.
Oh,
He's not
that's
in
true.
MVC3.
Oh shoot, you're right. Well, what about Zero? Just because Mega Man's there. Ah, but I do.
But Zero's so cool. That's my thought. Also, Mega Man, I think, deserves 2 reps. Like, that franchise
Yeah,
deserves
you're
there to be a
right.
second one.
Get rid of Frank West. He's kind of irrelevant.
Sorry, Frank. Sorry, Frankie.
Sorry to
Okay,
all the
so we have
fans out there
20
that we got their
characters.
hopes up on. So we got five
20
more to choose
characters
from.
and no repeats are allowed, which means two characters I really wanted in this game are not going to be in it. I really wanted Wesker to come back and Arthur to come back, actually. But that's life. That's
That
life.
is life. Let's see
That's
here.
the trouble with Capcom. There are so few that it's really tough. So we gotta make 5 characters from this list here.
Yep. Let me go ahead and just write these down.
Okay, okay, go
Let
crazy.
me get the legacy characters in here. Unless you wrote it down already.
No, no, I've just been memorizing.
Okay. That's good. I'm glad you do.
Mhm.
So, and then we didn't get Frank West. So, okay, we've got no more legacy characters, and we have five more characters to choose from. And we can discuss why maybe some other legacy characters like Wesker didn't make it. I have argumentations for
Yeah.
Wesker, and keep in mind, I just beat replaying RE5 with a buddy not long ago.
Well, I have arguments for Wesker, and keep in mind, I've never played a Resident Evil game in my life, and that is why my argument for Wesker is so strong. But we'll go. Let's go first. Let's go
Right.
first.
Okay.
All
So,
right. Well, my top four are my top five are immediately disqualified. Arthur, Wesker, Nemesis, Akuma, and Viewtiful Joe are all great characters who were in UMVC3. So none of them count. So I've only really got a bunch of Street Fighter characters and Alyssa Hamilton. So really, we can talk about your side first if you prefer.
yeah, absolutely. So let's see. Immediately, Beautiful Joe, Akuma, Nemesis, Albert Wesker, and Arthur all ruled out. Shoot. Okay, so you got one, two, three, four, five, six, if we're including all the parentheses Street Fighter characters.
Mm,
So you've got six on your side. I've got six on my side. Okay. I like this. So one of us is gonna have to give up. Is gonna have to go with two characters on our side. Let's do the nip at each other one a bit again. I would
mm,
say I'll just go ahead and weed my own out though, based on what we have. We'll get rid of. Oh, and
yeah.
Tron's a return character. Okay, so that eliminates Tron. That eliminates Zang. I'm gonna eliminate Zangief just because we've already got that. Uh, so with Hagar, so Zangief is out. Okay, yeah, I can keep the rest of them. Okay,
Okay, okay.
so
So you're keeping. So do we want to talk about Tron first? Do we want to talk about Big Tronny?
yeah, we can talk about Tron. So Tron, one, it's a legacy character, so we can't bring that back. But
True,
two,
true.
she is big robot.
Oh my God, you're right. I forgot that she's in UMVC3. That's crazy. My bad. My bad.
No worries, no worries. She it. Not that I don't like her. I think she could be reintroduced as
Yeah,
DLC. Not that I like seeing
me
like
too.
old characters done as DLC too often, but like it's fun once in a while. And I think Tron would be okay, but we just need some variety in here.
I agree. I agree. Okay, so then you want to talk about Baby Bonnie Hood or Baby Robin Hood? Wait, is it Baby Bonnie Hood?
It's
Did I
it,
did I mistype this?
no. I couldn't think the name off the top of my head because I don't play Darkstalkers much.
It is
But
Baby Bonnie Hood. That's crazy.
yeah, I know it's
Wow.
Red Riding Hood ripoff. But that's the fun part, right? I think in my head, I wasn't sure if Rocket was gonna come back, but I was thinking
Yeah.
also like we have like Beautiful Joe and whatnot. Well, we had them, but we got Amaterasu now as this low to the ground character. I thought maybe we kind of need another one. That way, it's not like one character is only on the ground. I think Baby Bonnie
Yeah.
Hood could do because you could have her be lightweight. The whole shtick with
Hmm.
her, based on what I've played on an arcade machine with her, is she's she's Red Riding Hood with an Uzi.
Yeah, which is pretty sick. I won't lie. I won't
I
lie.
think the deceit of being a person playing this short character and be like, oh, I'm just Red Riding Hood. Well, like, why is she in the game? And then being like, wait, why does she have a gun? I think that'd be
Well, my
charming.
thing originally, my thought was that we didn't need another Darkstalkers character whenever we've had a bunch in the past, but I think she's pretty sick. I really do. I would be 100% for having her. She's kind of like Rocket if he was more interesting to me, at least.
Yeah.
She's really cool. I'm for her, but we have to remember that if we take her, well, we do need five characters. I'm fine with her being the first of five,
Right.
completely.
And I'm also cool discussing first and parking her off to the side.
Deal, deal. Okay, in that case, for now, that's character number 21. Give me Baby Bonnie Hood.
It could be. It could be.
And let me very quickly just say something about Wesker and why maybe I would lose Firebrand for Wesker, which is simply that as an outsider who knows nothing of the Resident Evil franchise, Wesker is the coolest guy there's ever been. Are you kidding me? Wesker
He
is so sick.
he's
It's
such a
crazy. This guy dodges bullets. He's like Gru. He kicks missiles. I love Wesker.
you see the
He's
thing
in,
is
Dead by Daylight. You have, what is it, 6, 7 minutes? How many minutes is it?
7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you. So my thing with Wesker, as somebody who just replayed
Hmm.
RE5, he is really cool, super cool, and I love how Dead by Daylight
Yeah.
introduced him with Ouroboros into it. However,
Yes.
I don't want just another Rushdown character, which is Wesker, because Virgil's
Hmm.
pretty much going to do Wesker things like teleport around the screen and whatnot. Wesker is fun, and if we had another slot, I would be totally cool putting him on. However, he is also kind of a dweeb, and people don't realize that because in Resident Evil, he's just such a total dweeb. One of his moves is that he literally throws a pair of sunglasses at Chris Redfield just to
That's
distract him so he
sick.
can
Come
sucker
on.
punch him.
That's
It
sick.
is, but it's so goofy. But Wesker just RE5 was this ultimate event that was the end of Wesker. Wesker died in that game. Like flat out, he's done.
Yeah.
Like that's it for Wesker. Resident Evil has not looked back at Wesker since RE5. Like
But from an outsider's perspective, Wesker's like one of the characters I associate most with Ari, with Resident Evil. In my head, Wesker's a way bigger deal than any of the villains from the new ones at all. Which I know isn't fair for me to project the past, or yeah,
and that's
to
fair.
project an
And
outsider's view.
as legacy, that is fair. That is totally fair. But
I'm
what
cool with him being like Wave 1 DLC or Wave 2 DLC. I'm
absolutely
really on board with that. Yeah.
he could be that because with Wesker, like I'm trying to think of like the present day Resident Evil. I don't like yeah, people talk about Wesker, especially people who have been around, but like unless RE5 gets remade soon, or sorry, unless
Hmm.
they remake Code Veronica soon, and then RE5, he just hasn't been in a single Resident Evil remake
Hmm.
other than the very end as a teaser character for RE4.
Yeah.
Like that, like his presence in RE4 is so distant. Like he's basically not in the game. You only get a glimpse at his face in the in the new Resident Evil remake franchise at the very end of the game, and it's very much like feeling of a post credit scene kind of thing.
Yeah.
I just
Okay. In
I
that
can't
case,
justify
yeah, no,
him
go
at
ahead, go
this
ahead.
moment in time. That's my thing.
Yeah, and I get that. And I get that.
Now, Lady
I
D,
really do
on the
get
other
that.
hand,
But then here's my problem with Lady D is that Wesker, well, I haven't played RE8 at all. But Wesker, he's jumping around the place, you know? He's doing some crazy stuff all the time.
but we
There's some
don't have
athletic feats
Nemesis
going on.
anymore.
But what the Nemesis is doing crazy athletic stuff all the time.
No, he's
Doesn't she just
not.
wear a dress and walk at you quickly?
I mean, okay, look, pretty much, but she is maybe not the as big as people thought she was going to be in Resident Evil Village. However, she does her hands extend into knife claws that can poke out and like sweep. She is tall. She's got long arms. You can have her slash across half the screen. You can have her like poke
Hmm.
up. You can have her grab somebody with like a grab move and then just like bite into them and like suck up their blood.
I'm just saying, Jack, have you played RE9? Or no, RE10. What's the one that just came out? Is it RE10?
RE9.
Requiem?
It just came out
RE9?
today. I have yet to
I
touch
know.
it.
Who's the villain for that? I don't know because I haven't looked at it.
I
Do you
don't know.
know?
As soon as trailer one came out for the game, I was like, yep, I'm sold. Don't I
But
like
here's
I
what
don't
I'm
want to
gonna
watch
say.
anything else.
What if we just park? this villain spot that we're talking about for Ari slightly to the side and give it a
Okay.
month. And
Okay.
then and then come back to it because for me, Lady D just doesn't have the staying power that Wesker does, or even the Baker family does. Where not only is she a smaller part of her own game, but again, I've only seen other people play it, but she doesn't seem to be doing anything too crazy, you know?
I mean, she transforms into a giant monster form. She also has her daughters that you could factor in. Like
Yeah, I
they
was
fly
thinking
like
about that. I was
bats.
trying to think, is there like a daughters thing you could do?
There is, yeah.
Maybe.
They fly in like
Would it just
bats.
be better if you make Ethan Winters the protagonist? You just have a little Ethan-based story.
Nah. Well, okay.
Ethan-based character, I'm sorry.
No, because he's faceless, and also like he's supposed to be an everyman, and I mean, like, what's he gonna
Yeah,
do?
okay, okay.
Like,
That's fair. That's
like
fair.
his move's gonna be hand mutilation.
Mm,
We'll park her off to the side for now. I agree. Albert's got the bigger presence, but I think in terms of, you know what? Because here's my thing, Dan. We
yeah.
can introduce Wesker as DLC, and now we're like getting a little ahead of ourselves, right? But like we can introduce Wesker as DLC, and people go like, "Oh my gosh, Wesker's on the way back." Whereas
Wesker,
Lady
that's
D
true. That's
took the
true.
internet by storm, but also like if you have her like with a bunch of other people released at the same time, it's kind of like a, oh okay, this is I like the sauce that's getting thrown into my chicken.
That's a very good metaphor. That's a very good metaphor.
We'll park her to the side
I,
though.
I
We'll come
respect
back.
that. Okay, okay. Well, then next, can we skip down to my Street Fighter picks?
Absolutely.
Because I know we only have two Street Fighter characters in the game right now. I think we need a third. We have Ryu and Chun-Li, but obviously Akuma can't come back, and he's been the staple along with Zangief, like third Street Fighter character in this series. I would really like a Street Fighter villain of either Gil from Third Strike, who I don't know if you know him. He's the red and blue Illuminati guy who's just
Oh
sick.
yeah, I actually thought
G,
about that one.
it was really cool. He was in Street Fighter 5, so he's not like completely irrelevant from the franchise. Obviously M Bison kind of has gotten changed completely, where M Bison is now JP slash Ed slash a bunch of other psycho power users.
I don't like
But
Street
M
Fighter
Bison would
Six.
be cool. G, my boy G, yo, give me G. I don't know if you know anything about G from Street Fighter 5.
Not at all.
He's like an Abraham Lincoln president who
Oh, that
powers up every
guy!
time he lands a hit, yeah,
I would
and just
love
makes
that.
president quotes. But he's never gonna make it into the game. But to be honest, the character I would really want from Street Fighter, if we have a third, would be Alex, who's the protagonist of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, and he's just so cool.
Wasn't he a prisoner?
Alex, great name. No, that's that's the mayor. Is that Luke? That's not Luke. What is that guy's
The
name? It might be
mayor?
Luke.
No, I thought Alex
Yeah,
was the
the prisoner
prisoner.
becomes the mayor. That's Cody. That's Cody.
Oh,
Alex
that's
is the
Cody. Because
wrestler.
so Cody was in Final Fight as well. That's the character I was thinking of.
Yes, Cody's an Alpha 3. That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah,
Whereas Alex is the big wrestler who I don't know if he was in Street Fighter 4. I think he
he
might
was.
have
Yeah, actually, he
not been.
was.
He was, yeah.
Or was it Hugh? I'm thinking of.
He's like it's like yeah, that's what Alex has long blonde hair and he's dressed like a kind of like a wrestler from the 80s.
Mm. Either way,
He's really
I can
cool.
imagine it.
He's really cool is all I'll say. If you look up a picture, like Alex is, well, you obviously can't, but he is really sick. He's a grappler, but he's a normal size grappler. He's not like Zhang Heath where he's like this Hulk. He actually has pretty good movement. He has a very famous dive move where he dives like diagonally across the stage, kind of like in Cinema or Upbeat. Just a really cool character. I really like him. He's always been kind of my favorite, low-key favorite Street Fighter character. He just got announced in Street Fighter 6, so he's still relevant today. He was the protagonist of the kind of the most famous Street Fighter game ever, except for maybe Street Fighter 4. I really like Alex. And I think if there was to be a Street Fighter character, a third one, it has to be either M. Bison or Alex, or maybe Sagat. But I would really prefer Alex. You let me know what you think. You let me
No,
know what you think.
honestly, I was thinking in my mind like either Gil or Seth. Seth would be interesting, but I know he's
Yeah.
Street Fighter 4 exclusive. But you sold me on Alex,
Oh no, they
honestly.
brought him back in Street Fighter 5 actually, just gender swapped. So that's a woman now. I don't know if
Oh,
you if you knew that or not. Yeah.
oh, I'm still in for Alex though. Honestly, get a wrestler in there.
Yeah.
I think that would be
I,
really
I really
interesting.
like Alex. I'm glad you like that. I'm glad
Yeah,
you like that.
I don't want psycho power. I think that's so overdone.
Okay, okay. In that case, I really like this Captain Commando pick that you have. I'm a big Captain Commando fan.
Same here.
But
I think it's just such a fun legacy character. Like, I
yeah,
think, especially because that franchise has, I don't know the state of it. My understanding is it hasn't been around for a
I think
hot
it's
minute.
done. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's done.
but I think it's okay. Like every once in a while to pull a, we haven't explored this character in ages, but let's just toy with how people feel towards him, kind of
Yeah.
pick. And I think Captain Commando could be that. And I think he has a pretty interesting moveset.
Me too. Seriously, me too. I'm very much for Captain Commando being in the game. I think he's sick. I think he's a legacy character who deserves it. Or not legacy character in terms of UMBC 3. I mean, in terms of Capcom,
Yeah,
a legacy
exactly.
Capcom character who deserves it.
I think he
I
could
think
be
he's
a
a very fun,
historical.
campy aesthetic. You could do stuff. Yeah, he's like kind of. I think this was a really good pick. Good deep dive into the discography into the stuff. I'm very for Captain Commando, and I'm also equally for Hugh and Diana from Pragnata, which are the two characters in the new game that's coming out this year. Which, like the new villain from Resident Evil, I'm okay with giving them a character slot, even though I don't know anything about them,
I don't
because I do
either.
think New Blood is very cool, and their game looks sick. I was just watching the trailer and reading about it,
Oh
and it looks
yeah.
very cool.
And I haven't played the demo yet because I know the game releases in like 2 weeks from this point or something like that. But
Yeah.
I think I hear it's got some good gameplay, especially combat. And I think having like a sci-fi like partner buddy system would be fun. Like Diana, I
Yeah.
don't know how much she does in the game. Truth be told, she may just be like a character that's there. But like if like I don't know, to me it seems like Diana is your partner that sits on your back as you're in the suit.
Mm.
Like I think that would be pretty fun, especially because we
Yeah.
didn't get that kind of character with like Rocket and Groot. I think we could have Hugh and Diana and have very like mid range or like I don't know how their moves work, but I'm assuming guns and space stuff. I think that'd be fun.
Mm.
And also,
Yeah,
it's new blood.
exactly. Yeah, I think, if we're updating the game, that's the thing with Capcom. They're such a franchise-driven game these days that I think whenever they have a new game, it's, you gotta reward that almost. I'm very for it. I'm very, very for it.
Absolutely. And so let's see here. So Alyssa Hamilton, I completely forgot that Clock Tower 3 was made by Capcom. Is the whole series made by Capcom, or did Capcom only dip into this one particular entry?
Okay, it's really weird. The first two Clock Towers were very traditional horror games, which were really cool, kind of revolutionary for their time. Published in Japan, Capcom had nothing to do with them, absolutely nothing. Then the series went on hiatus for a few years, and then a very famous film director in Japan said, "Hey, I'd really like to make a third game with this." But the original publishers didn't say yes, but they sold the IP to Capcom, who did say, "Yes, we'd love to." And they made a Clock Tower 3, which is completely insane. You know what the premise for Clock Tower is, right? A guy with scissors is chasing you around the
Yeah, the
clock
Scissor
tower.
Man, that's his name.
Yeah, well,
That's
he
all
doesn't
I
exist
know.
in this one. In this one, instead, you're playing as Alyssa Hamilton, who is a girl who is part of a long line of angelic figures who have angelic weapons which allow them to travel through time in order to defeat the souls of people who have committed extraordinary amounts of sin. And by beating them in one-on-one combat, you can purify their sin. And you have to go through different levels themed off of like the crimes they've committed. And they're like horrible crimes. Like you're against like I think the first boss is like someone who dissolved children in a vat of acid,
Oh my
and you have
gosh.
to go through like his acid factory, and then you have to fight him and absolve his sin and send him to hell. And you get like, and I don't know, she has this like bow and arrow which shoots magical heaven arrows. It's just really weird. But there is so much potential for a fighting game character here. I'm not even kidding. Like her whole thing is just ridiculous angel combat against ridiculous villains. Obviously, this is the most weird pick ever. This is like niche beyond niche. No one played Clock Tower 3. That game flopped. This is the third part of a series that they don't own the rights to anymore. But this is our perfect world. I am really for her in the game. She's kind of sick compared to like the other people on this list. Like we don't even know what you and Diana are gonna do. I'm gonna be completely honest. Alyssa Hamilton, yeah, she's just cool. She's just cool.
You
But I
sold
also
me.
understand if that's too out there. But no, before we like confirm on her, we still have an open character slot. Would you want to look at our alternates first and see if there's
Ooh,
anyone?
that's a good
Oh,
point,
never mind.
actually.
I just looked at our alternates. You can switch to it, but it's a lot of UMBC 3
Oh my
characters.
gosh.
Well, also Vanessa from Piano 3.
Yeah, so swapping over to our alternate characters.
Yes.
So yeah, Nemesis is crossed out, Arthur's crossed out, Chris Redfield gone, Zangief gone, Jill gone. But that leaves us with Vanessa on my side. And I don't know who Masamune Date? Is it Date? Who's
That's
that?
right, Masamune Date. No, the samurai from a very popular feudal Japanese and Chinese game in Japan, which is huge over there and has never seen full releases in America. But I thought it
Yeah.
was pretty cool. Why not have a samurai in here? Why not have a
I
samurai?
think that would be sick. For me, I okay, look, I was really grabbing bottom of the barrel here. PNO 3 is not
Yeah,
a
me
good
too.
game. It
Me
is
too,
not a
bro.
good game. It is. I actually did not beat that Capcom 5 game because it was so repetitious. It was the blueprint for what Bayonetta is today, and it is the definition of a tech demo. Now, I love the aesthetic of it. It's that like early
Hmm.
2000s like sci-fi Frutica Arrow like all white like rounded edges kind of aesthetic. And like
Yeah,
the character literally dances like with her combat, and she's got beams that she shoots out of her suit. It's
that's pretty cool. Like
and she
I,
does flips. She
yeah,
does flips all over the place. I think it would be neat from a moveset perspective, but also with Pragmata coming out, I think they kind of said, yeah, this is our sci-fi game now. We're not revisiting PNO3 or Project was it Product or Project Number 3 as it's actually called, not
yeah.
PNO3.
Project number three. Yeah, yeah.
It's a weird pick. I don't think she should make it. Capcom was basically like, yeah, like pull the plug on this one.
Oh, so okay, well, in that case, I don't know. I suppose I wouldn't prefer her over Alyssa Hamilton.
I'm all for
Because I just think
Alyssa.
Alyssa Hamilton's hilarious. And Masamune Date, I mean, it's just a samurai. At the end of the day, it's just a samurai. That's pretty cool, but and it would attract the Japanese argument. But I really want Alyssa Hamilton. I'm sorry, that's a ridiculous character.
No,
But
I want it
if
too.
we're at the bottom of the barrel, let's do like the bottom of the barrel.
This is
Let's
not
go
the
really
bottom,
far
Dan.
down.
This is exactly what we're looking for. Okay, we need this will revitalize interest in Clock Tower, and I've actually been interested in getting Clock Tower 3, but its problem is it's kind of expensive on the aftermarket.
I believe that. I really believe that.
Oh,
Oh
my poor
man. Okay,
PS2.
well then
It's
we have a finished roster for
do we? Well,
Capcom.
no,
If you
no,
want
no,
me to read
no.
it from
We got one
Oh,
more
no,
left.
no.
We got one more left.
We do? Who's
Yeah,
our last one?
we parked Dimitrescu and Baby Bonnie Hood to the side.
Oh, let me I guess I guess Baby Bonnie Hood. I guess I'm okay
I'm
with
down for
Baby
Baby
Bonnie Hood.
Bonnie Hood. I think we've only got one Darkstalkers rep with
Yeah.
Morgan in here, and there was three in the last game. I don't think it's as niche of a title as we possibly think it is. I think it's just we need to get a different Darkstalkers character into the roster, and I think Baby Bonnie
Yeah.
Hood would be such a funny pick.
Yeah, me too. I also just think, very cool character profile, very cool character size. I'm really, 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 really for adding her to the game. This kind of as assault rifle rush down, not even a zoner, like someone who uses a ranged weapon aggressively. That's sick. That's sick. I'm really for.
I am too, honestly. Well, I think we have our
Okay.
full roster.
I think we have a full roster of everything. Because in the last video, which we did a few days ago, we had
Yeah, a
all of
few days
like
ago.
25 Marvel. Whereas here, our finished roster looks to be, well, there's one more question. We had Nero as his own person, right?
Oh shoot, I forgot about
Nero,
Nero.
Man,
Oh
Zero.
no. Okay, yeah,
Finished
yeah, you're
roster
right. You're
finished.
right.
Leon Kennedy, Chun-Li, Hagar, Strider, Virgil,
Oh, we're one
Garcia
over.
Smith, Monster Hunter, Jack Baker, Asura, Spencer, Dino Crisis. Hold on. Baby Bonnie Hood, Captain Commando, Hugh Diana, Alex, Alyssa Hamilton. No, it works. It
Does
works. That's
it?
25.
Is it
Yeah.
20? Oh,
With
actually?
Dante Nero's his own character. Yes, 100%.
Oh, I
Right? Hold
didn't.
on.
Wait.
Let me read this out loud. You count the names I'm saying.
Yeah.
Ryu, Dante, Nero, Morgan, Megamind, Zero, Amaterasu, Phoenix Wright, Leon S. Kennedy, Chun-Li, Hagar, Strider, Virgil, Firebrand, Garcian Smith, Monster Hunter, Jack Baker, Asura, Spencer, Dino Crisis, Baby Bonnie Hood, Captain Commando, Hugh slash Diana, Alex from Street Fighter Third Strike, and Alyssa Hamilton from Clock Tower 3. I think that's 25, isn't it?
I lost count.
I think it's 25. I would bet my life it's 25.
Oh my gosh. Wait, hang on. Sorry. Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. Wait, we said.
Skip Frank West when you're counting. Skip Frank West.
Okay. Ryu, Dante, Nero's 3, Morgan 4, Mega Man 5, Zero 6, Amaterasu 7, Phoenix Wright 8,
Mhm.
Leon 9, Chun Li 10, Hagar 11, Strider 12, Virgil 13, Firebrand 14, Garcian 15, Monster Hunter 16, Jack Baker 17, Asura 18, Spencer 19, Dino Crisis 20. And then we said B Alex, Captain Commando, Hugh and
Mhm.
Diana, Alyssa Hamilton, and Baby Bonnie. Oh, that is 25. Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Absolutely amazing. I'm glad we got that.
How amazing is that? How amazing is that? Well, there's our full roster.
There's
There's
our
our full
full
roster.
roster. Wow.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And
I
if you look at the image which Jack has edited on the screen right now, it's our full roster. There
yeah.
you go. Isn't that amazing?
Hang on. We can
Oh,
throw in the
beautiful.
photos together.
Exactly, exactly. This is my thinking.
Yeah.
You'll retroactively edit it in.
Exactly.
Oh, all right. Well, dude, do you wanna outro? Should we skedaddle?
I think we should. Yeah. Thank you to everybody so much for listening to our dream roster of MVC4. I hope you really enjoyed it. I personally had a blast. I hope Dan did too.
That I had an amazing time. What a great time I've had here. Thanks for inviting me. Always a pleasure to be on the show. And what a great roster. I would play this game. I would play the hell out of this game.
I would too. Screw Marvel Tokon. Bring it back to MVC.
Exactly, exactly. You get it. Oh my goodness. Whenever my bullseye is matched up against your Alyssa Hightower, bro, that's a good matchup. That's a good matchup.
I
We're really
cannot.
reflecting what the people want in the present day. Uh-huh.
I cannot wait for my Ghost Rider to face off against your Leon S. Kennedy.
It's gonna be beautiful.
It's weird.
Seriously.
Baby Bonnie Hood is just gonna pump an Uzi into the face of freaking Hulk.
Oh, what a great roster. I really would play it. And then finally, I think we should ask one final thing before we do end the video like fully, which is we don't have X Factor, Jack. So what do we have instead? What's our four factor? We
Oh
don't have
shoot!
Infinity Stones. We don't have X Factor. What do we have?
I didn't think this far, but you know what? It's always been like a Marvel based ability. I think it's time that
True, true.
Capcom gets some love. Let me let me think here. Let me think here. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't have any at this moment. What did you have in
That's
mind?
okay.
I don't. You're more technically sound than I am.
Oh, I have no idea. I just want to rip off the burst system or the combo breaker system from Mortal Kombat or Guilty Gear, but we can't do that. Can't do that.
That's true. That's true.
Oh.
What do we put in his place? Now I'm stuck thinking.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, we will think of something. You know what? That'll be our third hour-long video that we'll get back to you guys with.
That we will, or maybe yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. What if it's like some kind of, oh, I don't know. You know what? How about this? How about this? Capcom releases an expansion into your
Hmm.
that you plug into your system through the USB port. That's where you
Okay.
you insert quarters into the quarter slot, and then you
Okay.
give your character an extra life.
Oh, so we just pay Capcom more money, okay, to get better at the
Exactly.
game.
Yeah.
I like this. I like
Yeah. You
this.
know, these are all like Capcom's all focused on arcade games. Like, I think we should bring the arcade system into it.
I'm very for that. I'm very for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Exactly.
what about we steal something? Last time they just stole whatever was popular in the movies. Why don't we just steal something from whatever Marvel movies are popular right now? What's going
Uh,
on here? Captain Marvel, the new Captain Marvel. We didn't even put Ant-Man. Bro, how did we forget Ant-Man? Whatever.
I
I'm not
okay.
mad.
I did think about Ant Man, but I mean, like, what he shrinks and grows. Like,
Yeah, big whoop. Big whoop.
big whoop.
Okay, I've got it. Our new thing we're gonna add is called M Factor. The M stands for Marvel versus Capcom.
Oh
Whenever you
yeah.
activate it, yeah, 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 you break whatever combo you're currently in, and you begin to regain health. But also, so does your opponent until you guys are back to full health, and it just resets the state of the game completely.
You know what?
I think that's pretty good. I
I
think
think that's
that's
pretty
pretty
good too.
good.
And then like for the Capcom side, we can have this
Yeah,
function where you hit a
Steve
combo
Factor.
called
Yeah.
Control Alt Delete.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm yeah, I think we're cooking here. Oh, what
Just
mechanic
delete
do we
whatever that
do?
character was from the roster.
Oh, so long. Freaking gosh, what's his face? I'm trying to, I'm blanking on who it was I had in my mind. Frank West. That's what happened to him.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh, that's why I was. It's Frank West Factor. You activate it, and Frank West joins your team.
oh, I
Only
like
one
this.
player gets to do it per match, but you get Frank West.
Whoever does it first gets Frank West.
Exactly. Is that a positive or a detriment? I don't know. He replaces your lowest health character. Full health Frank West.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, this has been a really great video. I've had a fantastic time being here. Thank you so much for doing it.
Absolutely. I had a blast. Thank you for coming in. To all our viewers, thank you so much for joining in. I know we do long videos, but honestly, we just like yapping. I hope you enjoy it. And I have a couple other video projects I plan to release very soon. So, anyway, with that, make sure to go support the channels or don't, your choice. We're pretty small and humble. Doing it for the sake of the game, not the reward, but for the journey.
Well, he's humble. I'm not. Dan Chan, dude, best channel on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. We're almost at I think 400,000. So make sure we hit that milestone. It's a good time.
I will sabotage your channel by calling president of YouTube himself to strike it down.
The thing is, you don't even know who the president is anymore. I guarantee it.
It's probably an AI construct.
At this point, I wouldn't doubt it. Hey, I'm an AI construct.
Are you?
You just use me. Yeah, I'm like Claude whenever you have a video idea.
Gosh darn it. Well, meanwhile, while I purge my PC of this virus called Danshan, dude, I hope you all enjoy. Anyway, catch you all later. Take care.
All right, bye bye.